All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go into game number 1 of match number 2. We are actually going to see Violet up against
And who's going to draw second blood is the big question. Who's
going to draw second blood? We're going to find out in a moment.
They drew second blood.
They drew second blood. That's it. And the actual impression includes a lot of spitting, by the way. So that's what I appreciate about Gretorp. Don't ever change.
That is actually a movie based, or no, a show based upon Danny DeVito's life.
Interesting. You guys want to do a little bit of connect the dots? Dan DeVito in Always Sunny did an episode, well, of course, I guess you could word this the other way around, with Husky's girlfriend. She was an extra actress in that show.
Wow.
2 things you can gather from this. Husky, very lucky man. His girlfriend is a beautiful, beautiful young lady. But also, esports. We got agents everywhere, man. We're making our way in there.
Not only that, Danny
Hollywood.
DeVito also playing in the Lorax.
Which Gretorp did the artwork for, or is there...
Just saying.
Okay.
Great movie. You guys.
Laura, I'm going to miss that one. did you actually see the Lorax? What I would ask is that you give me like a $20 allowance every week so that you don't spend that on going to a movie like that. Okay, get inside the game here a little bit. Lenok, one of the big guns, if not the big gun, from Team FXO.
Oh, yeah.
One of my favorite Zergs, one of the best in the entire planet. Reminds me of a mini July Zerg that doesn't always attack. On the other side, we do have Razor Violet, who is, of course, Empire Violet. But I believe they are actually partnered with Razor, so maybe this is... No, I think they're still just Empire. But Violet's like giving a tribute to their sponsor, Razor, perhaps. Of course. Now, he did go with the spawning pool first.
14-14.
This is a pretty standard exchange, actually. 14-14, okay. That deflects the really early game shenanigans, and it's also a pretty good striking position against that hatch first. On
a map where there's a very easy and accessible ramp that you can block off with 2 queens, and it's right next to your hatchery, then yes, I would say, you know, the hatch first against a 14-14 is a lot better. But in this position, when you're on bel'shir Beach, you have that very nice wide open ramp. You know, I kind of favor the 14-14 at this point. It's going to be a little tough for Lenok to defend this. I'm interested to see how he actually does it. This will be followed up with what looks like a hatchery and probably some banelings.
Right. Hatchery, of course, not taking away from the effectiveness of a baneling push just because you're going to have those excess resources no matter what. But to your point, interesting choice by Lenok, and he has to know that. Maybe he doesn't necessarily know Violet really well, and that's actually exactly what I was waiting for. So the Roachborn does go down. It's about halfway complete, and that should be his answer to banelings. But if you're going to go Roachborn that fast, you almost have to skip Spine Crawlers, I feel, because otherwise you're going to be putting in too many resources in defense. Now, Zerglings do pop out just in time to deflect Violet's Zerglings. Look at that, he actually breaks one off. Wants to continue to get that information. He's going to find out, okay, yes, there is a Roachborn. You're not going to go the Baneling Nest route, so I am good to go with my options. In fact, if you look back at home, Violet is back on that gas, usually signifying a pre-Baneling Nest, but he's building a lot of drones opposed to Ling, so I'm thinking actually he's just totally okay with their positions.
Yeah, a lot of times when you do see that roach run, you want as many roaches out as possible. So you will do a lot of Zergling pressure, get a lot of Zerglings. This time around, we're not seeing that just yet, but I'd love Violet to actually push out here with a ton of Zerglings. What that'll do is force the roaches out. Now, roaches are not actually good for growing.
Nest Gretorp, yeah.
They're not good for growing because they cost 2 supplies, so you're having to actually spend a lot of supply and not a lot of larvae.
Right.
So it becomes a little bit of a problem, of course. Still, you know, he's not actually opting to do that, and it looks like Lenok is just preparing for some huge, big all-in.
Yeah, he switched. If he was going to go roaches, then Violet can basically tell himself, okay, nothing's going to come for a few minutes at least, because roaches, again, they build slower, like you said, take up supply. But then they also move fairly slow. But switching to Baneling Nest has me believe that Lenok wants to do a Ling Baneling with absolutely 0 roaches. I think the roaches might have been kind of a preliminary defense, and then as they get scouted, a little bit of a tomfoolery, if you will. But Violet will not be tricked. He's got Lings out mingling with his opponent, finding out that he is in fact going to get attacked. Queen, in the most awkward of positions, does go down, but she tanked a lot of damage. It's actually really hard to call out Ling versus Ling.
Yeah.
But Violet had like 20-to-1 ratio there, so I guess that's easier. Now he's going to make his way back over here. Lenok's going to pull the drones. He's out of position. Baneling's just now forming. He could be in trouble here. A couple are about to pop. They need to make key connections. And, well, they're not getting it. No.
Oh, wow. And the Banelings, they do get some nice hits, but overall I think too much damage has been done already. This one Baneling actually had a really nice hit. And there it goes on 3 Zerglings. It's okay. Let's go ahead and look at the income tab really quickly. 25 Harvesters, 220. So Lenok is actually ahead, but another round of units are coming in here. And will Violet actually be able to, or Lenok be able to hold this off? No, GG.
Yeah, the Banelings were actually just going down as the next group of Zerglings made their way in, and they even got focus fired and targeted down. So Violet, I mean, time in and time again, and I feel like I don't know, I don't want to typecast this guy too hard, but he's really good at being aggressive. He just absolutely is at home when he's attacking. I don't feel like Violet, there's not going to be a highlight reel of epic Violet holds like, oh my god, he's holding so. No, it's not that. It's Violet finding ways to attack you at times you don't want to be attacked and attacking you well.
Yeah, it really felt like Lenok was absolutely dead. And you can see Lenok actually did a lot of mind games that time around. I thought he was going for some huge roach Baneling off of, a low economy 2 base. He didn't even make roaches. He just made the roach warren to obviously force some sort of reaction to his opponent. And, Lenok got that initial queen kill, but I think that was a nice timing where he was like, okay, well, I know you don't have a lot of Zerglings. Yeah, you don't have a lot of Zerglings. I still have, whether it be 2 queens to inject, and I can do a lot with that.
Queens tank a lot of damage from Zerglings, so they did get a full surround on it. The queen was obviously caught trying to kill an overlord, but so many lings in sacrifice for a queen that had already gotten her injects down a long time ago. That's a questionable exchange, but I think even from there, the worst part was back at home. The Banelings really didn't start to get morphed until pretty late. It was like the Zerglings were coming up the ramp, and he's like, oh, I need Banelings. And it's not Brood War, where if you're morphing, like if you actually used to morph a lurker, that egg gave it a cloak of invisibility, it might as well have been, because it was absolutely, and people are like, invisibility is not invincibility, but you can't hit invisible things. That's the point I'm trying to make. Anyways, the egg made it really hard to kill. But in this game, if you morph a Baneling, it's actually just, it's wrapped itself in a silken blanket, and it's saying, don't touch me, I'm going to turn into something else. But you can touch it, of course.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You can hurt it. Yeah.
200 health it used to be in Brood War, and 10 armor.
I would love to see StarCraft 2 fans deal with that. I would love the next patch to be morphing Banelings now have 200 health and 10 armor. There'd be people going, what? What do I hit it with, man? Like 10 Colossus?
And they were
get
armored.
it.
They were armored too.
Yeah.
I don't want to mention that, but just random facts. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Lenok is going to fall game number 1. Violet takes it. We're going to go into game 2 after this break, so don't go anywhere.